My mic was muted, wasn't it? I just got the notice. Okay, good. Because I got tongue tied and I didn't get my words out. Um, I said welcome. I decided to do a little mini panel before the 4 o'clock thing that I was giving you myself in small doses today, wherever I could fit it in. And at, in a couple of hours, we're going to have Jeff, the astrology dude, join. I'm going to restart a new stream for that because it's pre-scheduled, and we're going to read birth chart, or he's going to read birth charts. So if you want your astrology chart read, come on up when that starts. So in the meantime, I'm just going to do a general open panel like I usually do. So whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's in reasonable lines and the trolling is manageable. And tomorrow is Mother's Day. So I don't everyone has their own story with their mother and their own relationship with their mothers. So I know it's not all something to celebrate for a lot of people. Oh yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking though, IG, that if I'm going to it, you need the biggest baddest troll to handle the troll problem. Dino and Bonk, Kitty Bonks, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Liver ooh, ooh, ooh. That's so gross. I'm sorry about that. Um, and you didn't have any other options like backup food, frosted mini wheats or something. I remember they used to serve that at lunch. That was our school lunch some days, and I could not stand the smell. I couldn't stand sitting near it, having it around me with other people eating it, and I couldn't eat anything that touched it. So on liver days, I would gross out. I would sit down with my tray and I would like try to eat just the peas and just the mashed potatoes and try to like avoid the liver smell. And I couldn't wait because at the end of lunch you had to get up and go scrape your plate in the big garbage can. I could not wait to scrape the plate on liver days and get that nasty liver away from me. Ugh. And every now and then, my mom didn't cook a lot of liver because none of the kids really liked it. But sometimes my friends' parents would be cooking liver. I'd be at their house and they'd have the liver cooking. And my grandma would cook liver sometimes. And even the smell, oh God. So anyway, I don't know. That probably has nothing to do with Mother's Day, but that's the liver and onion stories. So my point of Mother's Day was if you do have a if you feel any kind of positive way about your mom, this is the day to kind of reach out, appreciate her, let her know, thank her, that kind of stuff. I mean, do what you want. I'm just saying. Tom- Tomorrow is a special. Like if you ever need a reason to, tomorrow provides that reason, and so take advantage of it if you want. Hello, Z, Mr. Zintz. Are you at work? Are y'all busy on Mother's Day? It's also a big shopping day, and so okay, cool. I love that people stream while at work. They stream from work, and they come on panel from work. Like all of that just fascinates me. Nemesis, why are y'all Nemesis? Oh, the dog. Is it a dog cat thing? All right. Well, hopefully something to listen to develops. Um, because if not, in a couple of hours, check back and we'll be doing astrology charts. My dad was a florist when I was little, very tiny. He got his florist license. He had his own flower shop. I remember going as a kid. We'd go to the flower shop and we'd get to go in the back. And I remember the smell. It smelled it cold because they had all those. They had these like glass cases that were refrigerated that all the delicate flowers were in, and it had this purple ultraviolet light that would light up these cases. And I remember going in there and looking at these flowers with the purple light shining in their little glass cage, and the smell. It was cold and like floral, like planty, but cold, like when you're in a cooler, like a walk-in cooler or something. And then I remember the florist foam, that green styrofoam that you could stick the little metal wires in, and I would play with the florist foam while I was there. That's what I'd entertain myself with. And then they ended up splitting. So, and he only did that temporarily. He eventually did something more industrial. I don't know much about floral. I know they have like you have to have an eye for it, and there's an art to arranging the flowers, and there's different bowl shape like silhouettes, like round, cone, irregular, and so you plan your arrangement around whatever silhouette you want it to have, and you want it to harmonize with the container. So I know basic stuff like that. So I don't know if just go pick some flowers off the side of the road if worse comes to worse, and just give her that. Like, is she really gonna know? Baby's breath is that little white fluffy. They have it in like wedding bouquets and stuff. Yeah, I remember baby's breath. Yeah, the little white flowers. Yeah, probably so. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I would do it floristing. Flor floristry florist. Well, I don't know. Apocalypse. I don't know. Do you visit her site on Mother's Day? Some people bring flowers when they do that. So, but flowers may not do anything in this case. I mean, if they do anything at all, it's going to be for you. They're going to do something for you. So if they help, bring them. Okay. Well, fair enough. I don't either. I've been to very few actual funerals in my life where they put somebody in the ground. I had a I think the first one was my great grandmother, but she was very old. She was like in her 90s, and it was in a mausoleum, so it wasn't in the ground. They had a plot inside of this marble little building, and you put them in these slots in the wall. And so the funeral, we had to crowd inside. It was smaller than, it was like a quarter the size of my room. It was like a closet. And the whole funeral party had to crowd inside of the mausoleum, and the priest did the ceremony in there, and it echoed. It was marble, and everything echoed, the words, the consonants, people's jewelry, the tip taps of the shoes on the floor. The acoustics in there, I remember. And they put her in the wall, and then we all went. But that was like more of a traditional Catholic funeral. Dobez, welcome. We're talking about funerals and death. And I know we've had conversations about that before.
I don't think I've been to a funeral ever. Uh, I mean, of course, I have had family members died, but my grandpa, he died like the first few months of COVID, not from COVID, but due to the lockdowns and such. We couldn't, because we live in Norway, and my maternal
Y'all
side is
couldn't have
Swedish.
funerals?
Yeah, we couldn't travel to Sweden
Oh, I
to
see.
go to the funeral because of border shutdowns and such. Which, if he had died like 6 months later, it would have been fine because Sweden liberalized their COVID politics a lot. But
I remember my uncle passed away during COVID. Not of COVID. He was sick before,
yeah,
and he happened to pass during COVID. And I'm sorry, my cousin, and he was in the Navy. He was a Navy person, and they did this funeral for him, and they broadcast it through Zoom remotely. And I remember that being one of the points of me being amazed with what the modern technology, like the video technology, could do for connecting people. And so I got to see the whole funeral, and I got to see my relatives that were there, and through the video, and I don't know, it was kind of awesome.
hmm. Does sound like a weird experience.
Like it was like one of the transitions to this life we're living now, where we're all interacting digitally and not in person. Like going to a digital funeral was really kind of one of the crossing points of that year. Prayers
We
instead of
didn't have that though.
flowers.
Sweden is more primitive, I suppose.
Yeah, oh, well, then definitely don't do it. Not if it's gonna make you worse. Cause you're right. You have them in your heart no matter what. That's where they really live, and your memories, and sometimes your dreams. So as
There's,
long as you keep that going, they're still
you
they're
know,
still there in a way.
the my grandpa, who I didn't get the funeral of, he wasn't buried, but he was cremated. But the pond where they spread his ashes, it's inside a cemetery. Every time we visited there, there's been this one. What do you call it? What is that even called? Squirrel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's always a squirrel that always appears every time we visit. So it's like
The
stuff
death
like this
squirrel.
makes me think. Yeah, like it just out of nowhere, there always comes a squirrel every time we visit that pond, and it just hangs around the other side. And so it's like maybe it's him, maybe it's not, but it's certainly a special experience.
Hmm. Even if it's not, it's more interesting and beautiful to think that
Yeah,
it could be.
yeah, it is. And
So what's up with you? Y'all don't have Mother's. Y'all don't. Different countries do it at different times. Do y'all have a
yeah,
Mother's Day?
yeah, yeah, of course. But with my mother is actually cheating because
Oh,
Norway and Sweden has them at different days. So she always claims, I live in Norway, but I'm Swedish. So she claims both.
oh,
So
she gets two Mother's Days a year.
we only,
Good for
we
her. I
only,
admire that.
yeah. I
She's
mean,
working the system.
if I move to a country with a different Father's Day, of course I'm gonna claim that. Of course I'm gonna do both. It's just a good way to game the system. Um, but it was some time ago. Or was it? Wait. I'm pretty sure it was some time ago. Mother's Day. It has to have been.
Oh,
Okay,
you
now
can do
I just
anything.
get American results. But yeah, it has to have been a while ago, I think. It doesn't matter. I don't need to remember it perfectly.
Oh,
But
well,
but no.
hopefully she feels the same way.
Well, okay, no, that's not what I mean. What I mean is I don't need to remember it for this panel, for this conversation.
Oh, okay.
Of course, I'll remember
Other than I was
the
nosy,
time of day.
I was nosy about it.
No,
But
that's
no,
completely
you don't
fine.
have to.
No.
So
And
going on? It's just an ordinary weekend in
uh,
Trondheim.
I don't know if me elaborating will ruin this somber mood, but uh,
I was having a good time. Do you want it ruined, or do you?
well,
You can keep
it's a
either way. We
funny
can keep it
way.
going, or we can ruin it.
No, let's not. Let's not be too vulgar. No, but aside from certain events, I had my second exam today. So an
Oh,
exam in psychological history and communication or whatever, which was fine. It is certainly not the most fun, and by that I mean that it's not fun to sort of study for that type of exam. Now with philosophy, it's you get more freedom in you know what do you want to write about, how you want to write it, but this specific topic, it's just so many words, so many names, so many theories. It's so much. Like that's the issue I feel with most of my university subject is that it's just so much stuff that they expect you to memorize. They care more for memorization rather than understanding or
oh.
utilization, which is a shame. But
Are
it's
these lower level courses?
yeah, they're all introduction courses. But I don't know if it will get better because
It might a little. It might get
yeah
more open open ended and free form. Um, the lower levels sometimes can load you with more information. You need more information at the rudimentary
yeah.
levels.
I mean I presume that introductory personality theory will have a lot more theories than like advanced personality theory because that just makes sense. The advanced probably focuses on a restricted amount of theories that it elaborates much more extensively, whilst the introduction, it got to show the whole breadth of the subject. So naturally, there is too much in a sense. Although it's too much if you're me. If you're diligent and just read 2 or 3 hours every day, as you're quote unquote supposed to do, then it's a completely fine amount. But
If you could do 2 or 3 hours of YouTube a day, you could do 2 or 3 hours of reading.
I know, but it's just the switching that requires willpower, and I
Yeah,
struggle with
it's
that.
a mind thing.
It truly is. It truly is.
Do you know what you're taking next semester? Are you doing the
Um,
summer or are you going in the fall?
there's nothing in the summer. I begin again in August, late August,
Oh,
early
okay.
September is when I
So
start up
you'll have
again.
the
So
summer free.
yes, I'll
How
be
many more exams do you have?
two more. I have two
Oh,
more,
okay.
and or technically three, but one of them is just me. Uh, a home assignment. Just I need to write an article, so that's not that difficult or that much of a problem because I have actual access to sources. Like the big issue at the exams is that you're supposed to show depth, but you don't have access to any sources. You got to just memorize everything.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Yeah.
so like write 2,000 words, no sources allowed. It's
But
you know
you kind of do that on here. I mean, I can see you being able to.
Well, yeah, but this is surface level, and this is things I'm interested in. And usually, I don't talk about things that I haven't thought about for a long time. Like a lot of the
Oh,
things I talk about here, I have probably hundreds of hours of thinking about.
because they seem very spontaneous.
Oh yeah, I mean I am a spontaneous person, but on an exam, I'm more careful about what I use and say and whatever, because it's what it is. Although I have a tendency to be a bit too reckless. I remember the exams in my high school, the final exams. I didn't really get a good grades because I was too loose with my words. It read
Oh,
more like a French Revolutionary defamation article than some scientific stuff, because like one of them was political science, and I referred to uh, Russia and Ukraine as an old tired couple or whatever, and Russia as the white beater in the white. Like, so I am a bit too loose in my words, and that's fine, even preferable for a context such as this panel. That's what people like. They like a certain
yeah,
professionalism tied
that's
with.
the story I would want to read more than the
Yeah,
dry matter of fact account.
but that doesn't fit in academia,
Yeah, but
which
that's why
I
I'm not
get
in there.
it.
We never
Yeah,
did get along.
yeah. I I know for a fact that if I make something worth publishing, I'd rather just write my own book about it and then let the academics go through it and make it professionalized. It will still be me at the source. I just don't need to be as direct. But yeah, so I finish the last exams by the May, like I think the 21st of May, which is
Oh,
really early, and then I can just go home. Like usually, all the time, summer or school always ended like the 20th of June. Like it actually really annoying because we're Swedish, and so we celebrate midsummer, and we need to travel to Sweden, but that sometimes intersects with the last day of school in basic education, so in elementary, middle school, and high school. The last day of school often intersected with midsummer, and so we couldn't always go and celebrate it. But now, I have a month of free before my siblings are done, and it's crazy. And
midsummer,
then,
here I come.
oh yeah.
What
I love
are you
Midsummer.
staying? You going to your hometown for the summer?
Yes, yes. I'll be traveling south and living with my parents, and then we'll go to Greece early in
Oh,
the
wow.
summer and visit because my aunt, my Swedish aunt, she married a Greek man. She met a man on vacation, just ended up staying there, marrying him, and
Oh man, I need
having a Greek
vacation.
family. So we're gonna travel to one of the Greek islands, and interestingly enough, we're gonna stay on multiple islands. My parents always do this when we travel to Greece. It's usually, one part is the island with my relatives, and I won't say the name because it's pretty tiny, and the other is just wherever else in Greece to experience something interesting. And the other island, it's apparently on that island is a cave and a mountain peak where I think is it John who had the revelations that became the Book of Revelations,
Oh yeah,
and
Patmos.
yeah, that was on that island. So I'm gonna go
Oh,
for
you're
a
going
walk.
there?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go up there and
Wow, that's
bring a
pretty
Bible
cool.
and read Revelation in that cave or in that area. Uh,
Oh man,
so
yeah, that's that's a pretty swell vacation.
it is the benefits of living in the old world. There's just so much stuff everywhere. Sadly, last time I was in Greece, we didn't get to. Well, why am I complaining? When we went to Athens, I went to the fucking Acropolis. So I'm not gonna complain too much. But I really wanted to visit. I don't remember what it's called, but the area like a bit northwest of Attica, of the like Athens area. There's the
Sparta?
uh, No. Sparta, that's south. That's on the Peloponnese. It doesn't matter where it is, but there's this the place where the Eleusinian mysteries were happening, and they were doing their stuff. That was kind of close. It was
Oh.
just a day trip, but unfortunately, my parents and my siblings, they are not, what they want from vacation is not the same. It's like always a family dynamic that my dad and I, we want the history, we want that stuff, and then my uh, siblings and mother, they just want
Well,
relaxation.
you and your
And
dad go.
well, yeah, and that's usually what happens is that well, okay, my dad, he cares about the education and the making proper of my siblings. We bring them too, and every vacation it's sort of a mix between relaxation and then we go on these trips and look at crazy stuff. So when we went to Italy before COVID, and I know I'm talking as if we always went to vacation, but remember, I'm European. Plane tickets are much cheaper to other European nations than
Hmm.
America. So it's like $200 for a plane ticket from Norway to Greece before inflation and COVID. It's very different from $1,000 for America to Greece. So I'm not that spoiled. But an example would be when we were in Italy. We lived in this hotel in Tuscany, this old manor house,
Oh.
and some days we just relax around there and go to the beach and whatever. And other days, we actually drove in to Florence, walked around there, and Pisa, the Leaning Tower. And so we sort of have this mix of some days, like you always got to do something interesting, but you also got to relax. And that sort of family dynamic I really like because even though I personally can be fully content just walking around these really mystical and historical sites, my I know most people don't, and to be fair, I also really enjoy just relaxing at the beach. It so it's not a bad dynamic,
But you
and I
miss out
think
on the
it's
Eleusinian mysteries.
I
And they're
did,
just right there.
but I but Jeff, I did get to walk up to the Acropolis and like actually we were really lucky because as I said we have Greek relatives, and so my cousin and his girlfriend, they live in Athens, and they took us up to this mountain which is in Greece, or Athens, because Athens is a massive sprawling city. There's no high rises, it's just everything is mid rises, like it's dense but like medium density for like a massive amount. Like from horizon to horizon, it's just blocks after blocks after blocks after blocks. And then when you go up to this mountain, you see sort of the entirety of Athens. Like turn to one side, as far as the eye can see, it's just blocks upon blocks upon blocks. On the other side, it's the same. But then when you look straight across, there's the sun coming down, because it's the sunset, and it moves towards some sort of mountainous chain to the east. But then straight across, you see the Acropolis. You just see it like breaking out from the city, like from the ground, like towering above the blocks, and you just
Ooh.
see these ancient pillars and structures on top of this like cliff in the middle of a sprawling cityscape, and it was very magical. And so we were up there watching the sunset, and with sort of the Acropolis. I don't know if I took pictures of that time. I
Ooh.
I hope I did, but maybe I didn't because I was a bit of busy talking to my dad, as I tend to be. But that would never have happened if we didn't um, have Greek relatives, because they just show you, oh, we love, this is our weekly walk. Just walk up here and view the sort of paradoxality of human nature. On one hand, you have this industrial scale sprawl. On the other hand, you have the peak of civilization, literally like a cliff rising up from a sea of concrete. It's immense. But I'm trying to scroll back to see if I can find it. But the funny thing is that the experience of that time, it's so funny because right after that, after we went down from that hill or mountain, which took a long time. Like it was stairs upon stairs upon stairs upon stairs. My sister, she took so long. It was really annoying actually. But after we walked out, they led us into the massive urban sprawl, and like through alleyways and whatever, and we just ate at this restaurant that literally served like sausages shaped as penises and named after every single vulgar English word you can imagine. So after we are up on this peak, viewing like the Acropolis and the sunset, we go to eat this the most vulgar
Wait,
restaurant I've
what? Where
ever
was
been
the
at.
penis sausages were all at the Acropolis?
No, no, no. It's in the urban sprawl of Athens.
Oh, the
So
city part.
yeah, yeah. So after we had been up the mountain, looking out on the city, they took us to dinner in this restaurant. I
Do
don't
they have
remember if it
some
was.
that they peel the skin off of? For,
I don't remember much. I'll be honest. I was more focused on the general experience, but just I wait. I need to scroll further back. I am mixing up. This was 2023, I suppose, not 2024. Um, I needed to switch my old phone, which is why I am a bit uh, inefficient at this. I'm not proficient, let's say, with my old phone anymore, which is really sad. Let's see. I should have images, but do I have them from the top, from the mountain, from the other side? We also saw the Olympic arena, which was you know how the first Olympic arena that we used in 1890 whatever, it was originally an ancient Greek. I think it was a chariot race, like a ring or whatever, but it was buried, like it was completely covered. Nobody knew that it was there because it was completely covered in dirt and forest. And then I dug it up and just use that again. I think. Let's see. I have a Okay, I can see on my images that I have a bad tendency to zoom in too much because I like the way the sun looks, and now it just looks like Mars instead of anything else. Legit though, I'm gonna send a few
hey,
images to
Vinny.
you if you wanna show off what I'm talking about. Uh, hmm. Okay. Oh, I don't have internet on this. Yeah, so Greece is definitely one of the best places I've been to, and it's been a childhood staple. Although uh, we didn't really visit any cool areas, and I mean cool what I find cool now, until I got a bit older, because I'm the oldest. So we sort of waited until I got older, because as a 5-year-old, I would not appreciate that. Like the first vacation where we actually did something historical and cool. Um, was a vacation to Croatia, to Split, because there's the Romans controlled that entire area for centuries, and so we visited a Roman Colosseum in Illyria, near Split, I think, which is Croatia, wonderful country. They are a beautiful country, seemingly not really that involved with the wider Yugoslav struggles anymore. So definitely a place to visit. Uh, but no, that's another thing. I know I'm gonna try to emulate my parents when it comes to my future family, and the sort of way we did vacations or do vacations, I suppose, is certainly what I'd try to emulate, because it's been very nice for me, very fruitful. And is this a picture?
Oh, okay. Let me see. You want me to show these?
Yeah, you can do that. Trying to see. Sadly, it doesn't seem like I took a picture of what I was explaining to you guys. which is very annoying. It is indeed quite annoying.
All right, let me show what he sent so far. Okay. This is at night, I guess.
Yeah, that's the sunset.
Sunset. So
It
where
look.
is the Acropolis in relation to this?
That's what I said. It's to the west. Or wait,
Toward the
I need to.
sun?
Okay, that way. It's that way for all the viewers. Uh, so to the left of the sun, uh, it's the Acropolis.
And then there's this one.
Yeah, that's just better lighting. But as I said, for some reason, I didn't take a picture of what I was talking about. Apparently, it wasn't that interesting. This picture I really like. It's
This
the
one's not,
banner
yeah.
image on my Facebook post, on my Facebook page. Like it, I really like that image. It's, and that's the Acropolis. That's on top of the giant hill or whatever. So it's
Just the idea of standing there where, like knowing the history.
it is truly immense. It it's there. It's something really special. But I think that's not the most special um, time actually. Wait, I'm gonna just okay. That's also Greece. The most special area we went to that vacation. Wait, let me just check something. Uh, did I take pictures up there? I should have, right? No, that's a. I took a lot of pictures from that vacation, so that's why I'm looking. But that we Athens was not the whole vacation. After Athens, we went to Poros, which is a small island off the coast of the Peloponnese. It's on the inside between like the Attica and the Greek mainland and the Peloponnese. So it's not on the outside of the Peloponnese; it's on the inside. The Peloponnese, that's that large island peninsula thing in Greece. So we went to Poros. It's one of the best vacation centers. Sort of just really awesome, really nice. But the coolest part about that for me was that on top of Poros, so we rented a car and drove up Poros up to the top of the island in the middle, and there's an old ruined temple to Poseidon
Oh,
that's just standing there, and there were no one else there, no visitors, no tourists, nothing, just a ruin of Poseidon, like on the top, and you can just look out at the shining, sparkling sea, and underneath you, you're walking on rocks and touching pillars that are like 2,700 years old. Like people stood there worshiping the very thing I'm looking out towards, and here I am just being a tourist. And the best part is that uh, on that trip upwards or on the way down, I don't remember which, there's more modern history. There's an old Greek army fort that was taken over by the Ottomans to be an ammunition store that was used for a few centuries and then left in disrepair. So like here on the top is an old temple, and here is an old military installation. Both are ruins. Both look equally as ruinous, but one of them is 300 years old. The other is 2,700 years old. It's just amazing. And then close to Poros, we took a ferry out to the island of Hydra. I don't know the connection between the island Hydra and the creature Hydra. I assume it's related, but the island Hydra is this really tiny island. Like I assume it's like 3 square kilometers or something, a few square miles at maximum, like really tiny, but it's super developed. It's just a city on rocks, on a cliff in the middle of the ocean. So you come there, and there's sort of a pier, and then you just walk up the stairs, and you just go around and around and around. There's the city walls and whatever, and the restaurant area is on the edge of the top area off the cliff. So you look down a steep drop, and there's just a almost coral reef looking area. I don't think it was a coral reef, but it's like colorful rocks and fishes, like right next to restaurant areas. So you're sitting like 50 meters above, and down, you see these colorful, the colorful water. And once you've finished eating, you can just go down there and take a swim. And that was also really crazy. Um, Funny thing, whilst were there, at the exact time we were on, I've sadly not been to Naxos. Whilst we were on Hydra, apparently there was this other celebrity who was there. I don't remember his name. He's an American basketballer. He's really famous.
Larry Bird.
No, 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 no.
Oh.
I think it's
Wilt
black.
Chamberlain.
I think it's black. But either
Oh,
way,
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Curly
no,
from the Globetrotters.
Tim Curry. Is it Tim Curry?
An
Is that it?
actor?
No.
Mark
Steph
Curry?
Curry. I mean, Steph
Hanging with
Curry.
Mr. Cooper? Oh, Seth.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
know. Oh, I would
Steph
have never
Curry.
come to him.
Yeah. It's Steph Curry. He was apparently on the island as we're there. Now, I didn't really care. I don't care about basketball. My dad doesn't either. Aside from just generally being middle class, he just knows about every single sport, and so he has like a mild care for it. But it was really crazy that you just see this ripple across the crowd. We're just sitting at the restaurant eating our food, and and then suddenly there's like, oh, Steph Curry. We just hear it from these American tourists, like the
He
most
was on this little
stereotypical.
island?
Yeah,
This little
this little
Hydra
island.
island?
Yeah, Hydra.
Wow.
Exactly the same time as we were. It probably arrived in his private yacht or whatever. We just arrived at a public ferry, but like that was a really interesting trip. It's ironically, I don't even know if it's the highlight of that summer vacation, like that trip to Greece, because a few days before, I had a vacation with my friends. We went to, like, all my friends, like I think we were 7. We went to a friend of mine's cabin and just stayed there for like half a week. And it's in the middle of Norwegian wilderness, so it's sort of up in this mountain valley at this mountain lake, and it was also super idyllic. And we went canoeing out to these small islets and cooked our own food and whatever. And it's like a really traditional Norwegian cabin as well, although it's very modernized. That's sort of a traditional, like, the Norwegian cabin culture is to be as primitive as possible, but there's also a cabin aesthetic, and that had the perfect cabin aesthetic, but it didn't have it was very modern. So there's that. But I like that there's modern. I prefer a proper toilet rather than having to tie a bag and throw it in the trash. I prefer a proper toilet. But no, that was also really nice, like a proper vacation with just the boys, just our friend group out in the wilderness on our own. Just you can't imagine that, making waffles or cooking food on the grill in the closest neighbor is across the lake, like 300 meters away. It's like hundreds of feet away, and the echo of your voice carries across the whole lake. And we went canoeing, and I think, well, we didn't exactly go canoeing, but we had we had a wakeboard as well. So we just raced on this lake, which was not warm. Remember, this is a mountain lake, like, it's cold, but it was idyllic nonetheless. So it's difficult to choose what was best from that vacation. It was so much that was just so good.
It sounds like it.
Hopefully, this year's vacation will be equally as good.
Maybe you'll see the Minotaur. Is Crete one of the
Well,
islands you're going to?
no, no, no. Crete
No.
is not. I'm going. One of the islands I'm going to is. I don't know if it's classified under the Ionian Islands, but the islands that are right off the coast of Turkey,
Hmm.
of Anatolia. but I have been to Crete before, but sadly that's before I sort of had an interest in life at all. I mean, like, you know, when I was still a kid, just living life on instinct. Like, the islands we most frequently went to in Greece, and the reason it's always Greece is that plane tickets, cheap, um, and the food there, cheap. Like, cost of living, very cheap, plane tickets, cheap. It's a very easy vacation if you're European. If you're American, it's super expensive because you gotta take a plane across the Atlantic. But for Europeans, Greece is really cheap.
So Greece is poor. It's like our Mexico.
Oh yeah, Greece is really poor. But that's like Greece is perpetually poor because it just doesn't learn. Like the Greek debt crisis has been a thing since their independence in 1821. Like they've been bailed out by bigger European powers over and over and over again. Like one of the main issues of Greek politics in like World War One was, Greek debt situation. What is it now? Greek debt. 2008, Greek debt. So like
Why
they're
do it sounds dysfunctional? Why do countries keep bailing them out?
because well, okay, the one in 2008 and that area, that was because the Greeks had just adopted the euro. If their economy collapses, the whole euro collapses. And so
Oh,
the German Bundesbank, I think that's what it's called, but the German central bank, it took out loans from a lot of German private banks. Basically, Germans bailed out Greece to save the euro in 2008, which
so
is,
if they would not have had the euro, they could have let Greece do its thing, and it would not have
yeah,
cost.
yeah.
Oh,
Uh, like mostly. And but before that, earlier that crises, or at least before the Cold War, I don't know much about the Cold War. They had their own monarchy, fascist revolution, socialist revolution, civil war, whatever. Greece during the Cold War is, don't even try to understand it. It isn't relevant to world history. It isn't relevant to ancient Greek history. It's just there. So it's just no, but okay. That earlier times it was more strategic. Uh, like the Brits heavily supported Greek independence from the Ottomans because they wanted to weaken, the Ottomans. Like that was the strategic goal, and German and Russian sort of realpolitik in the Balkans, this or Austria-Hungary for that matter, just this, general combat over spheres of influence, whatever. Like it's Greece has a strategic positioning as the bottom of the Balkans and also neighboring a lot of other countries and the entrance to, they're important. They're Let's put it like that. So a lot of their earlier bailouts and economic aids have been because of their position. But the first one, their freedom in 1820 or 21, yes, it was British strategic interests. But the funny thing is that it was Brits just loving the ancient Greeks. Like it was British aristocrats who, knew ancient Greek and would recite Homer and the Iliad to these Greek peasants who, they didn't understand what they're saying. It's just these British and French and German aristocrats coming down to Greece, like, oh, for the glory of Athena, a fight for the democracy of Athens, and the commoners are like, huh? What are you saying? Like, what is this shit? But the impact of that is that after Greek independence, because the big sort of issue in Greek politics and cultural sort of discourse after independence was, should we primarily focus on our Roman heritage or our ancient Greek heritage? Because both are like 1,000-year long periods that are very, very substantial to Greek history and world history. But because of all these aristocrats who were all fanboying over Homer and Plato and Aristotle and all that, they pivoted towards the ancient Greeks first. And it's only around the First World War and the interwar period that they begin looking more fondly on the Roman period. So because of that, Greek foreign policy was or foreign policy, like domestic policy, was completely changed. It's an interesting how these things relate. But I don't know where my divergence was. I don't really want to do the stereotypical Dolbas historical lecture
Oh, well.
because it's a bit it's a trope that's been dragged out a lot. The souvlaki is really good, but what I discovered is that moussaka is also delicious. It's have you had moussaka, Jeff?
Is that a cheese?
No, 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 no. You're thinking of what are you thinking of? What is it called? You have tzatziki, moussaka, souvlaki. You're thinking of souvlaki. That's the cheese. Wait, no,
Yes, I
that's
think I
the
have
meat.
had moussaka.
That's the sort of lasagna like thing. What is it called? I I have eaten this so many times. How can I not remember what the grilled Greek cheese is called?
It's souvlaki is lamb.
Yeah, that's the meat. But what is Saganaiki? Yes, Saganaiki. That's the if you haven't yes, thank you. Saganaiki. If you haven't had honey glazed Saganaiki, you have not experienced everything there is to experience in this world. Honey glazed Saganaiki is oh my.
What if you don't like
It's
honey?
you don't like honey, Jeff?
Uh-uh. I don't like sugar. I don't like sweet. Anything sweet.
You know, I'm not a Christian, but I'm thinking of trying to pray for you.
Oh, how rude. Praying for a Satanist. How rude.
No, but nah.
It's too sweet.
Well, you're supposed to eat it with just
They
a
used they
spoon,
used to give it to us as kids when we had a sore throat. They'd crush a baby aspirin and put it in a big old metal spoon full of honey, and they'd pour a little bit of whiskey in the honey to numb the throat. And then they would put the spoon in our mouth and like force the honey into our throat. I hated
Huh?
it. The only part I
I
liked was the little aspirin because you could feel the grains in the honey, and it was
I
tart.
find the best thing that works if you're sick in general. It's a little trick called sleeping. That's just how I
Yeah, that's what
fix
I do
all my
now as an
issues.
adult.
Yeah,
Fluids and bed rest.
yeah,
Lots of
exactly. So
fluids
easy.
and lots of sleeping.
But back to the topic of vacations, because I'm in that mood right now.
But are
I'm
you worried it's
skiing.
going to lead to history?
Well, that's fine as long as
Well,
I
you said you
restrain
didn't want
myself.
to.
No, but as long as I keep sort of the history as secondary, only allowing it to build
Well,
the
uh, that's up to you.
who knows. But you know, uh, to you, Jeff, if you're ever gonna do a vacation to Europe, I recommend Greece because it's really cheap, and then uh, you know, not Athens because
Oh,
Athens
I
is.
can't imagine going and not seeing Athens.
Do you have any acquaintances there? Because Athens is a dangerous city. It is a labyrinth of like millions of people.
That makes me
There's
even more like intrigued by it.
and have you seen the roads there? Have you seen how they drive? Like I thought that the countryside Greeks were bad drivers, but the Athenian Greeks, oh my, oh my. But generally though, yeah, you should visit Athens. It's amazing. But
But
a
not
lot of
on a
islands are
vacation to
also
Europe,
cool.
to Greece.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that I say that because it's cheap.
I'm
Like
looking
if
at
you're
some of the
gonna,
pictures now. They looks gorgeous. The
it is a
streets have
gorgeous city.
flowers on them, and maybe it's like from travel sites showing you the best
Well, you are
image.
probably looking at the Athens that directly surrounds the ancient ruins because they are prettied up. That's the best areas.
The
That's like
gentrified part.
made for tourists and intelligentsia. Like the whole sprawl around it is just made for squeezing individuals into into a certain amount of space. Uh, Not that it doesn't have a charm, it does. It kind of reminds me of Barcelona, which is also there, but Barcelona has prettier blocks. Although I'm saying this, I don't remember Barcelona personally, but I've seen pictures and of what my parents tell me. Like it reminds me of Athens in a way. Um,
What does dodgy mean? I lived in New Orleans for years. It's the most dangerous city in America.
well,
Like, I don't
I
know
don't
if
know.
I've ever been anywhere more dangerous than New Orleans, except for certain
I
neighborhoods in other cities.
I'd recommend getting a guide at least, or someone or traveling with someone in Athens. On the islands, it's
I
much.
probably won't be taking a European vacation anytime soon anyway.
But you
I don't
should.
like to
There's so
travel.
much to visit. There's so much to see. So much to experience. Like, like literally, pick any country. Like just Croatia. As I said, there's so beautiful, so much. I want to have a goal. Actually, to build up that point, my grandparents, when they retired, they basically set a goal that we just want to visit as much as possible, and so they just had this map in their house of the entire world and just had pins everywhere they visited. And like I think they have been to like over 50 countries, like 60, 70 countries all over the place. Like it I want to be like that. I want to have visited so many places. But I don't want to oversaturate it. I don't want to just visit. I actually want to have experiences. It's not as if I'm going to go to Spain just to say, I went to Spain. But wait, actually, I'm a bit hypocritical. But because in last year we had a camping vacation, a car vacation, down through Sweden, Denmark, and Germany. And when we were driving from Berlin, we were driving east out of Berlin and towards the Polish border. And we were originally just going to go up to the coast and take a ferry back to Denmark. But, we were so close. We just decided, you know what, let's just drive into Poland for like a brief second. At the gas station of Poland, we're just, okay, we've been to Poland now. And we left. And now we can sort of check that off. We've visited Poland, which I find is so hilarious because, yeah, we have visited Poland, but we haven't visited Poland, but we have. So we just drove like 30 minutes extra just to check that off the box. And it was just a small gas station in a tiny
So you're going to
Soviet
count
town.
it as Poland,
I'm
even
going
though
to
you don't
count
have an
it.
experience?
Yes, I'm going to count it in how many countries I've visited, but not as part of my general vacation. Like, not actual experiences. I, I, the amount of countries I visited, that's just for I suppose, the bragging rights, the numbers. It just feels good to say, oh, I've been to this and this many countries. My mom actually did that for my confirmation. She gave me a plaque, which was like 15 countries in 15 years, and it was 15 pictures, one for every country I'd visited, and a picture from that vacation. And that was sort of one of my confirmation gifts, was this plaque of what I had experienced up until that point. And so, I don't remember the early parts. For me, they don't count, but they technically count. But no, that if there's one thing I want to do, that's like a big, big visiting goal or vacation goal. It's to walk the Trondheim to Rome pilgrimage road. Uh, Not really because I'm a Christian or whatever. I'm not a Christian, but just because just walking across Europe on a path that thousands of my ancestors and Europeans at general walked, and going through all these old towns. And, like, a part of this obsession and this wish started when I was younger, because in the city I grew up in, there is the pilgrimage path passes through it. And so when I was growing up, you would always see these signs. Uh, I don't know how to explain the symbol, but there is a specific symbol for a pilgrimage road, a Christian pilgrimage road, and you would just see the sign throughout, the local park, whatever, and you can just, all I heard was, oh yeah, this leads to Rome. Like, if you just go here in one direction, you end up at Trondheim. The other, you walk to Rome. Like, you can just walk that path throughout uh, Europe, and reach Rome. And so I really want to do that. And I want to do that since my dad told me what that road was, what that means. I suppose it's probably like
It's a seashell
seashell?
symbol. We'll see if this is it.
Seashell. I
Is it this?
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
Um
Because this
uh
symbol is
so
specifically for Christian pilgrimage, and it represents a seashell.
it's probably maybe it's Norway that has a specific Pilgrimsleden. Let's search the Norwegian. Uh and do they? Oh yeah. Uh, I'm gonna copy image, send it to you on Discord. The type of path, but I suppose it's kind of similar to Americans who grow up in cities on the Appalachian trails.
This is even
I'm
cooler.
sure that Yeah, I'm sure that kids who grow up on near the Appalachian Trail, they have a higher chance of walking the Appalachian Trail than people who don't, just because they're exposed to it. And but like, this wish of wanting to walk the pilgrimage road, it didn't really crystallize until last year, because last year we were not last year. Maybe it was last year. No, it was a few years ago. A few years ago, we were driving in Sweden, and we're driving to our my grandma, and on the path we just stop for a snack and whatever. And as we because it's you can just park there. There's a lake close by, no civilization at all, just open flower fields. But we park there, we walk out, and as we wander around, we make our bread and we eat, and we just start looking around. We find this old ruin that was a chapel, like in the 1300s, like a 700-year ruin in the middle of nowhere. And we see this pilgrimage sign and we see this path that the pilgrimage road in Sweden crosses through. This will end up at either Trondheim or Rome, uh, and like in the middle of Sweden, in the middle of nowhere, just an open fields. We find this old ruined chapel and this pilgrimage road, and at that point, that was when I sort of realized that, oh, you know, that might actually be a really cool experience. Uh, so, you know, certainly something I want to do. I I also, a part of me wants to do the Appalachian Trail, but the other part of me is like, bro, I don't like camping beyond the first week. you know, well, I would not enjoy anything like the Appalachian Trail. Um, I know it has done a lot of good for many people, but I don't know if that's me. I don't know if what I need is to be alone in the wilderness. I feel like what I need to be is alone in civilization, if you understand what I mean. Because that's sort of what I see as the difference between the Appalachian Trail and Pilgrimsleden. That Trondheim to Rome path is, one is you walk alone through civilization, the other is you walk alone through the wilderness, and to each their own. But I'm certainly more of a civilizational guy.
Jax, that's right. We were supposed to do a camping trip for the Panelverse. We can still do it. It's gonna be trickier to coordinate now because I have a work schedule and
Well,
other
Jeff,
obligations and all that.
you just gotta tell your boss that actually I cannot work that weekend because I have a panelverse commitment, and they'll just they'll smile and nod and agree with you and give you leave.
I still want to do it, and summer is the time to do it.
Summer is the time to do it. You know what you should do? You should in the future, or someone in the panelverse who gets rich should just rent out a mountain cabin and host like a week long drama panel. Just constant cameras
Let me
rolling.
know when y'all find that person.
Well, maybe I can. Maybe you can become the person. Maybe not.
Yeah, if y'all make me rich, I'll do. I'll do. What is it? I'm doing hiring, like renting
You're
a
buying a
house or
cabin
something.
in the middle of the wilderness, and you're inviting
Yeah, I'll do that.
Canvas people, and then you're just going to record them for a week straight and just experience the drama
I want to do
unfold.
that anyway. I'll definitely do it if I get rich. I mean, I want to do it even at poor. I want to do it.
Yeah.
I have not been to Mount Shasta. Is that in California? I did go to Mount Adams, which is the second tallest mountain in either Washington or the U.S. Rainier is the tallest, if you don't count McKinley.
Yeah. 4,300 meters. That is double Norway's tallest mountain.
Which one?
Oh,
Shasta.
yeah. That's one thing I feel I lack in general is any sort of understanding of the new world. I I know my way around the old world. I know a lot of the history, a lot of the culture, a lot of the geography, but the new world just confounds me. Uh, and that, you know, at
What's
some
the New
point, I
World?
just,
America,
yeah,
Canada.
the Americas and
Okay.
Oceania for that matter. Uh, so, like, the areas that were disconnected from civilization before the Europeans. So, I at least in my 20s, I need to have an America trip. That's just something that has to happen. I can't be 30 and not have
You
visited
could come
America.
on the panel camping trip.
I could. I don't know where I'd visit first. I mean, I know where I'd visit first. I have a friend in Maine, a friend who's closer to my age, so certainly, but that's really boring. Like, what happens in Maine?
Well,
Nothing
I
happens in
don't
Maine.
know. Ask Moose. Ask Leggy. Ask all the other Maine people. We practically have a chapter of outliers in Maine, just in Maine.
Yeah, but after that, it's definitely Minnesota because a lot of
You
my
should
family
go to
members.
Maine and let Leggy take you on one of his adventures. One of his you and Leggy in Maine together is the content that we don't even know we're looking for yet.
That is true. That could be fun content.
Or
But no,
go help Moose out in the work for Moose for like a week. Do a week on the fry station or something.
ooh, no, but primarily it has to be Minnesota, because
Oh, what's up there?
like a lot of my family moved to
The
America.
Scandinavians. I forgot. Yeah,
Yes, exactly. They have my last name, Jeff. One of
Saint
them looks
Olaf.
like my grandpa. Like they don't look like my generation out there doesn't look like me at all. Like the blood is so diluted, like probably 2 or 3% shared blood, but it's still they have my last name. I just to point out, we are the senior branch. Just got to say that we are the senior branch. They are the younger one. The younger brother moved out, so we are the senior ones.
Maybe he was
Just
the smarter one, the one more in touch with the now, the modern time, the trend, the future.
well, Jeff, the brother who stayed was the inventor. He was the
What did
factory
the other brother
machinist.
do? What happened in Minnesota?
I don't know.
Oh,
He just went there, settled, had a family. A lot of them have moved away though, and spread across America. I know there's a few in Alabama, a few in the Dakotas,
the
some in
Alabama
Utah.
Vikings.
Uh, and probably some in California. Everybody loves California, but
Yeah, well, he
still,
does aspire to the aristocracy, so that could all be related.
well, I'd be I'm not the most senior branch anymore. Because my uncle is older than my father, so you know, uh, and we're not nobility at all. Seniority and juniority doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything really, but it's still funny to talk shit in that
Kind of
sense.
to troll.
Yeah. Sadly though, I was sick last year for a week when they were visiting. Like some of them were visiting in Trondheim, and I was sick. Like just
Some of
at
the
that
Minnesota
time.
people.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were visiting. They have visited Norway before, and my grandpa and grandma they have visited them in America before. But it's like, what is it? To me, they're now fourth cousins, fifth cousins. So it is really distant. There's not much Norwegian immigration after the 18 or the 1910s, so it is far back. But it's still, they carry my last name. There's some shared kinship, and I have a few of them on Facebook. Um, Not that I ever talk to them or whatever, but it's fun to see them, just to be reminded that they exist, that there's someone out there with my last name just living their own life, doing whatever. And they are really comedic. And by that I mean that their wives and daughters, and everything, they're so strange names. I won't say the names, obviously, but the names are so. Actually, I'll type it to you in private chat, but don't say it out
okay.
loud. Like, like, what do you? Why is someone named that? Why? Why is she named that?
Oh, on Discord. Okay, hang on. I was waiting on
Yeah, yeah.
StreamYard.
Oh, no, no,
What?
yeah,
I
yeah.
love this name though. I
but,
can't
but
say
like,
it. Oh, this is so
yeah,
hard.
but how? Why did you
Yeah, it's a
name your
good. It would
daughter
make a good
that?
drag name.
That. Oh, she's like a
I want to
50-year-old
steal it for
Karen.
something. That's
No,
like her
but
full name. Like when they call her friends and stuff. That's
yeah,
what they call
yeah,
her.
yeah. The last word, that's her last name, but
Oh.
like apparently the first name and the middle name, they just call it the same thing.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that's a common first name where I'm from. Um, that
but is it
that
common to also have it as a middle name in addition to having it as a first name?
yeah, that is well. That's kind of the name, or sometimes it's short for
Hmm.
a longer name. It's like a nickname version of a longer name, so it's just kind of used as one word.
Yeah. Uh,
Hello, Kiki, Keiki Lani.
Also, though, all right, I also have to visit San Francisco because that's also some family history. I probably have told it before, but
I think he did. I don't
when have
remember.
I ever, I love an opportunity to talk about my own family without trying to reveal
You
too
love to
much.
talk about anything. Most
True,
people that
true,
come
true,
here do. I'm finding.
true. But I have talked about this. I think it was last year when a certain movie was coming out. But uh, my my father's the sister of my father's grandma, but that but who was very instrumental in raising my grandpa. So my grandpa's aunt. Um, so like biologically she's distant, but like she was basically the main caretaker for my grandpa and raised him with all the stories and whatever. She had a period where she lived in America. So she was born in Norway. She moved to San Francisco, lived there for a decade or two, and then moved back. Um, but in that decade, she worked as a housemaid for a family. She lived in the top floor of that family's house.
Oh yeah, you told us.
You know what I'm talking about, yeah. Don't reveal
Yeah.
it to the new chatters just yet. Let me build the story first. No, but she was, she would clean the house, help the kids, make dinner, eat dinner with them. But the interesting thing is, the neighbor, their neighbor, was none other than Oppenheimer himself, and he was good friends with that family and often came over for dinner. So there's a very high likelihood that on multiple accounts she had dinner at the same table as Oppenheimer. Not that there was any special friendship, whatever, but just
Or we don't know.
well,
Maybe that's the sequel.
maybe, but doubtful. But at least she sat and ate dinner at the same table as Oppenheimer, and then she moves back to Norway and raises my grandpa.
Maybe she
And
inspired him to do his work. You know,
maybe, maybe he did.
like
But
Immortal Beloved.
like these kinds of things, I just love. Like that. That's just some family history where just history and your own history intersects. I'm kind of. I thought I had it cool until I met an Icelandic guy, and they are like, there's nothing to compare to because Icelandic people, they're a very genetically bottlenecked people. Like the
What
starting
genetically?
population is
What?
very bottlenecked.
Oh,
So there was a very small starting population, so everyone is related to everyone, and because they started out as Christian, and they have records of basically every individual who was born and died from the very start of Iceland up until now. And so, like, there's this guy who is a friend of my friend, who's just the literal direct descendant of Snorri Sturluson, like the guy who wrote the Prose Edda and wrote down like all we know about the myths and everything. He's just a direct descendant of that
he's
guy.
probably related to Bjork too.
Yeah, like everything, they can just trace themselves back to everything. And so you think you have a crazy like family history? They can literally trace themselves back to like the Icelandic sagas. Like aside from nobility, nobody can do that. But in Iceland, they can because it's
I thought the Jewish people could,
well, okay, yeah,
and
but
the
I don't care about
Mormons.
the Jews.
Oh,
Maybe that's cynical, but Icelandic people. No, but seriously, I don't know much about the Jews, so I don't know if that's the case or not. But if you say so, maybe this, maybe
I go
this.
all the way back to Jesus
Oh,
and Socrates. I think.
I don't know how far back I go because we have only really gone like okay, everybody can trace themselves back to everybody because the amount of people that you descend from become larger and larger and larger. But if you stay by the senior lines, then there's less potential for interesting things because it's really cheating if you say that one of my great 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 grandparents, when you have like 1,000 of them, uh, did something special. It's more special if this is the guy who I have my last name from or my mother's last name from, like to trace that back. And we haven't traced back my maternal side, but on my father's side, we hit the rock. We hit with the endpoint in I think it is the 1300s, and at the farm, coincidentally up here in Trondheim, which is funny, but at the farm, and we can't go any further back because there's two farms with our name at that point in time that
You don't know
continue
which one it
further
is.
back. Yeah, we don't know. We have no idea which one it is. We have no
Maybe
way
it's
of.
both.
Well, that would
Vinny,
be
are you
very
related to
good.
anybody famous? Welcome. Good to see you.
God,
To God, you too. It's
right? We all are. We're all famous.
brothers. I knew he was my brother.
You're
What?
my brother from another mother. Even you
But
don't know.
someone, hey, let's yeah. Speaking of, let's clear something up. Someone exposed you the other day as not being Italian.
What happened? I heard.
That
I just
shocked
I
me.
just happened to catch that when
That you
Jeff.
were
I
Irish
was like,
because you're
why
like
is
one of
Jeff
the
saying
most
I'm the
Italian
man of
people
the
in the
hour? So how did that all
townverse.
come about? All I did was
I
the
don't
Italian. I
know.
couldn't have enough time to respond enough. But yeah, what was going on? Someone ordered a pizza pie or something.
I don't know. What is your heritage?
Heinz 57 bottle, everything.
Is some of it Italian?
Yes.
All right. Like a
Yeah, I don't, I'm not a black
Enough to
socks and
matter.
sandal wearer watering my concrete sidewalk in Brooklyn anymore. But no, I'm actually a good melting pot of a good representation of what New York City really probably was at the time when I was
Are
born.
any of them famous?
Anybody?
Like
There's a few people that I
Trump or
know, like distant.
Giuliani or
What's that? Do I know? I know a
are
lot
you
of.
related
Well, I
to?
don't know.
Like
I don't know them.
oh,
I've met them. Um,
so you could be.
so I could be. We all are, but we're all famous.
That's what dope is. I don't want there's just
Jeff,
some
you're
of you I
famous to
don't
me
want to
because of
be
this
related
YouTube
to.
shit. If
I'm sorry. I
without those
don't want
horns on
to
your head,
know.
Jeff, I'd be lost. Or the antlers, not horns.
Oh,
I'd be
yeah, I'm
lost
probably that
without
for
them.
somebody else.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, because you had that Mr. Z on panel. Mr. Z, he's Mr. P. I call him Mr. Z.
Mr. Z?
Yeah, late night with Mike P.
Oh, Mr. P.
Yeah, I call him Mr. Z.
Why? Stop.
You know why I call him that?
To troll.
Because when I first started, or he first started paneling around, he just fell asleep on everybody's panel. It was the funniest
Mr.
fucking
Z.
thing in life.
He
He'd be
fell
saying,
asleep.
"Oh yeah, he'd fall asleep on." There's a lot of people I know that fall. Well, a lot of good people that I know fall asleep. But his whole running, he would just fall asleep. He'd be panel furniture. He'd come up, salute Jeff, salute Dolbez. He'd mute, and then.
Are they falling asleep or are they
No,
being
he
put to
fell
sleep?
asleep. I don't know if he's. I don't even know if he still has a show. Jeff, tell you the truth, but
He was on here the other day.
yeah, that's why he was on. That's why he was on during that episode. One I just happened to catch when you're like, Vinny, the man of the hour. Are you really Italian? And I was like, yeah. Well, I said,
Oh, right. Yeah, it might have started that night.
so it's like Mike P's on there. So I said, oh, maybe you were talking about because he looks like he's a terrorist. Just kidding.
Maybe they
I'm
should
sure he
deport
has a
him.
hard time. I would not want to get on a flight with him because he's going to take up a lot of your time. They're going to check him out with a fine tooth comb. He just does. He looks like an Arab. You put a
Oh,
fucking
Mike,
towel.
if you're
You
out
put
there.
you wrap a towel, a regular bathroom towel, ladies and gentlemen. You put a regular towel on that man's head. He's not getting through. He's at least 2 hours through TSA.
Well, probably nobody. If they show with a bath towel wrapped around their head, there anybody like that's gonna stall the line.
So I'm sure his complexion and his look probably brought up the Italian, and then
Well, for a Heinz 57, you sure do sound racist
how?
toward Mr. P, saying he looks like a terrorist.
Well, he does. I can't tell you what. I mean, that's my opinion. That's what my eyes.
That has something to do with race, though. If he was white, would he look like a terrorist?
Well, show me a white terrorist.
To
Show
me,
me
he
a
is
white terrorist. You can't. So that
Do
question
we
is
have
kind
any
of
Irish
null and
people on
void.
panel?
Yeah.
don't
What about the Irish terrorist
I don't know. Do they even exist anymore
and
besides
the
when they gave us
Italian
potato famine?
terrorist?
The potato famine terrorists running around.
No, well, they
I don't know,
were
those are
like
people.
the biggest terrorist actions
Oh, you got to
in
joke
the
though,
80s,
Bez. It's
90s.
joking. You got to have fun, pal. No serious facts and
Well,
come on.
that is my fun. My fun is
Okay. All right. I don't want
fact
to take your joy.
deliberation and
I don't want to take your
rhetoric.
joy, Dolbez.
No worries.
But yeah, Jeff, I would say exactly that. Heinz 57 bottle. I probably got every other little ingredient: Scottish, Irish, German, obviously Italian, and God knows what else. And God only knows.
Any native blood?
I don't know. I have no clue. I was born in Brooklyn. I look the way I look. I sound the way I sound because it's all a code that God put in. And
But
it
the
activates at
the
certain
sound
times,
is
just like when
real.
we activate. We're activating all at certain times. You know, Jeff, like when a caterpillar turns, he's got to cocoon himself or herself for a little while. So they just withdraw from the bug society and they get a nice little fucking hangout joint. They make their cocoon. They get their fucking cable hooked up in there. They're all set up, right? and they hang out and they metamorphosize themselves. It's kind of like what I do when I'm home alone, right? Or we all would do that, I would think, is that you ponder, you think, and you appreciate where you are, where you're going, where you've been. And then just know within time, you're going to bust out of this little metamorphosis, which I would just call a level or a stage. And you're going to segment on to the next chapter of a beautiful beginning in your life as a butterfly as you bust out. Because when you get out that door, you cleaned yourself off, you dusted yourself off from all the bullshit that humanity likes to throw at everybody. And Fleetwood Mac said it best. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. And that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And if it doesn't mean anything to you, just please make sure you like and subscribe this channel.
that was beautiful, Vinny.
I
I
was trying to land that plane, Jeff. I was
No, it landed. It landed right into the middle of my brain.
I hope because I lean on those antlers, Jeff, as for my radar system. So when I'm landing in at the airport, I look for the blink of the tip of the fucking antlers. They guide me in. Look at Lopez's face.
I'm glad you're finding your way.
They guide me in like a air tower controller. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's got to be it.
They're a bit sideways though, so I don't know how your aim is going to be.
Yeah, but you told Biz, you ever see the planes come in the high wind? It almost looks like they're landed sideways.
So Jeff, you got to straighten them out.
Yeah, you ever see
a lot of inexperienced pilots
come in nice and straight, and then right as they're just hitting that ground, man, it's like they're doing like the fucking sideways jig. Yeah, whoop, and then right back. It's almost like they let that left wheel hit first to whip it to the right where the right will catch it because they're so out of whack shape, right? It's like, hey, this guy's not landing straight, but somehow they do it. God bless them.
Vinny, you gonna come up and get your astrology chart read?
My astrology chart read. Probably. I mean, I probably participated in the fun, but I don't need my astrology read. It's a hard enough time for me to even keep up with my own over here.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Sounds like fun. What are you doing?
In half an hour.
Oh, nice. Who's doing your reads?
An
astrologist?
Jeff, the other Jeff, the astrology Jeff.
I don't know if I know that one, but cool. That's cool.
Yeah, he's like Jeff, but he likes astrology.
So is it like tarot card reading, or is it going to be like astrologically?
You give him your birth time and your birth date.
Oh, okay.
And your location where you were born, what town or city.
Oh, pretty cool.
And then he draws up a chart.
That's cool. Yeah,
it shows all the planets. Yeah. What they were doing the moment you were born, as you're coming into the world.
You've done this a few times. Has it been interesting the past times? Like, have the results actually been cool?
Yeah, relevant? He did Mike last time. And he didn't really know Mike, but he was describing. He's like, let's see, it's showing that you have a lot of trouble with relationships and keeping friendships and relationships with people.
Say it isn't so.
And he did. Who did he do the other day? I forgot. We
Musk, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did Trump and Musk, but he did somebody from the panel. Oh, Flow State. He doesn't know Flow State at all. And so we got Flow State up, and he started reading Flow State's chart, like not knowing a thing about him, and it was so accurate, like the points he was hitting.
Isn't that cool when that happens? Like
that's one thing that got me into astrology in the first place. Was I was so amazed at how insightful it was. I wanted to figure out how they were doing it.
Yeah. Well, there's something to it because it's like I said, I think the timelines, people would say is time. I think the time is constantly in motion, and it's just the different tapestries of timelines that meet in a way. People would say, "Oh, you could be like a time traveler," but I'm just zone. The energies of, let's just say something you thought of and wanted, however many years ago, and if it links up with the same thing or the same current energy or prior past energy that's already been approved in order to manifest something, when you're around your certain ingredients of people that are emitting a frequency,
Oh my
because we
god.
all emit a frequency. It's not like you're gonna fucking hear it. It's not that shit that they tell you that gets in your ears with that noise shit. It's not that.
Like the ones that keep the roaches away.
Yeah, it's not even things like that. And it's basically even your table emits a frequency. You could read energy. Everything is energy. If you just think of everything as energy, and when the right energies are in the right vicinity of each other, they come together like magnets. And if that's pulling or pushing a human body to another human body's vicinity or daily energies, we'll say that's a better way to say it, then it links and syncs up. No different how we met here on YouTube. Your frequencies admitting and whatnot, and you know, it is what it is. Everything that happens to you is divinely orchestrated and it's supposed to happen to you. Now,
Because of
if
the
it was
frequency you're emitting.
correct, if you're in a bad mood, that mood itself is an
Yeah.
emotional charge, and that emotional charge is put out into the ethers, right? So, right into the sky. So pretend you shot a rocket like a firework, right? Now you're pissed or just in a bad mood. That rocket goes up and out into the universe. And that rocket, the closest of any person or anything that's emitting that frequency, is going to suck that rocket towards it. And that rocket's going to home in on that. And then it just snowballs. And then when that happens, and it just does that over time. And when it gets big enough, like the collective consciousness, like the biggest unseen thing would be the collective conscious thought of this realm that we coexist in. And this is all my opinion, by the way. So if the whole world thinks about ice cream sundaes all at the same time, something's going to happen about ice cream
Related to Ice Cream Sunday.
Yeah.
Look, will it work in the Panoverse? Like if everybody
Yep.
right now
Works
that's
anywhere.
watching, we all try to think of the same thing. We
In
can
fact, I
see what
think things
happens.
manifest faster online now.
Oh, what can we manifest? What can we test it with?
I don't know. Well, like I said, if a nice person said to me, it's easy. It's just the same as if you want to create a button than to create a castle.
What if we try to like
so we
summon
think of
somebody
this.
to the panel? Make I'll think of a certain person and see if they show up.
Okay. But
Who
don't
we
tell each
want
other
here.
right now. Dolbez is giving us the middle finger, by the way.
It's the middle
kidding.
fingers. Those are the exam fingers.
Okay, so we all think of a person. Don't tell each other who it is, and we'll give it.
But then, that's easy to cheat though because somebody could just lie and say, "Yo, yeah, that's who I was thinking of."
No, come on. We'll just be honest about it. Let's see. I'll think of somebody, and I won't think of Mike.
Or do we all have to pick the
won't
same
think of Mike.
person so that
Mike's
because you
excluded.
said if enough people
That's
are
what
doing
I was
it,
going to think of.
I won't think of Mike. Mike's excluded from the game because
no, he's on hiatus. He's on sabbatical.
Oh,
no, but
I'm actually
Jeff,
going to leave now because it's
just a matter of
1 a.m.
It's just a matter of if you have.
We're driving people away. It's not working.
No, but seriously, I need to sleep. It's past 12 now. So, as you can see.
Salute, Dolbez. Nice seeing you
tired.
again, pal. Nice seeing you again, man.
Yeah, it was fun hanging out and good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey,
See you some
I
other
must
day.
be doing it wrong. I'm driving Dolbez to go to bed. It's all right. You gotta get some. He's like, how many hours ahead of us?
His
Jeff?
brain power.
He's like,
what?
How many hours is he ahead of us in time?
Oh Lord, I don't know. He said it was 1 a.m. So let's see.
Yeah,
Or 1:30 a.m.
because I know at least in the UK they're 5 to 6 ahead of New York here. So what's been up with you? What's happening, man?
Nothing. Just working and streaming.
I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you. It's my social distancing shirt. I got it during COVID. I used to wear it out too. I'd wear it to the
Stay the
stores. I'd
fuck
walk
away
around
from me.
town with it.
We got to make a
I
song.
had my little mask on. I've got a mask with a pentagram, like a rainbow pentagram on it, that I used to wear.
Rainbow pentagram. That's interesting.
Yeah, like the upside down pentagram with a rainbow.
Stay. We're gonna make a song about that shirt, Jeff. Stay the fuck away from me. My name's Jeffrey. Stay the fuck away from me. Nah, that sucks. I don't like to
Most
tell.
people can't help themselves. It just happens naturally. So what's up with you? Like what you we
What's up with me?
haven't seen
Just
you in a
having
little while.
fun. Yeah, just having fun. Had a little hiatus for a little bit.
Did you
Doing other.
leave YouTube completely?
No,
Oh,
no. What I mean when I say that, it's like I just don't participate. I'll listen, but it's like a radio station. It's like watching TV, but it gets you in the
yeah.
background or something. But
Like when the
no,
writers go on strike.
just enjoying, getting out of the fucking winter and now
I know.
enjoying
Are y'all getting a spring at least? We're still
a
waiting
little
on
bit,
ours.
a little bit. It got cold again here last night. It was like
Oh my god.
just under the 50-degree mark. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck is
that's what it
going on?
keeps doing here, and it's almost June.
Yeah, yeah. No. I'm afraid to put any fucking annuals out because one frost, that's it. They're done. So you got to make sure it's a consistent warm. They only last for the season. Yeah, like little
Right.
pansies or some shit. Those little fucking pansies, Jeff. They don't behave. They don't behave.
Wha-
I've been working on characters and voices. Is that good?
Oh, are you planning anything? Like, are you doing?
I don't know. Listen, I'm always trying to think of things and
Well,
try to.
give us what. Who's
I don't
coming out?
know.
Who's emerging?
I don't know. Who could emerge? Who was emerging like the last time? I don't know, Vinny. Vinny talks to himself a lot of times. I don't know. I'm the ghost of the Godfather. I try to get Vinny in check. He doesn't like to listen to me, though. Especially when I tear down his tomato gardens with orange peels in my mouth, having heart attacks on a repeat. I tear his fucking tomatoes down. I go, grandson Vinny, you little bastard, you owed me money. And when I'm going to come and collect and put this fucking orange peel on my two front toofuses, and then I'm going to chase you around your fucking tomato gardens, you little prick. And Vinny, I bet I'm going to catch your fucking pussy face. But before I'm able to strangle the fucking last breath out of your fucking throat, I'm going to have a heart attack. Brrr!
Wow, how do you stay so cheerful?
I don't know. Oh no, Jeffrey, I don't know
I
how.
love this. It's
I
like
don't know how to
Shadow.
react to all these different characters that this man is putting my brain through
I
all the
know how many
time.
are in there. Like it seems like
I know.
it's a way to get your shadow out.
I don't know who this is talking behind Benny's eyes, but it's a kind of nice voice. I like the voice.
You should do a radio play.
Radio play
Yeah,
with
like
pots
just
and
create
pans.
different characters and
Gen X Jeff
and
goes
a
pots and
story,
pans.
and have them all talk back and forth to each other.
Yeah.
And you
Well,
can have
Jeffrey,
little
I don't think
sound
that's a good
effects.
idea. Well, what? Just fucking let Jeff talk for a while. I don't think so, Benny. No, let's let him fucking talk, will you? I'm gonna slap you. Shut up. Go ahead, Jeff. You got the floor.
Wow, it's like a whole panel in one person.
No.
I could have an open panel, or I could just have Vinny as a guest.
Eminem's front. Eminem's front. It's a put on. Jeff, I'm not gonna look. Oh, I don't even like to say that phrase. The Who, the lead singer, I don't know his name, but he
Roger
said
Daltrey.
there's a live version. He's so young, he looks like you. His face when he does the version of
What?
Eminem's front. Look
I've
up the
never
version
looked
of
up.
Eminem's front.
That's a
I'm
new one on
telling
me.
you.
Let's see.
I don't know the beginning of it when he goes. It's got to be the live version from 1982, and he
wasn't
goes,
young then.
he goes. What's odd is you or making it feel odd, and then he.
Is that the one that played Tommy?
I don't know, but it's the Eminence front. Just type in Eminence front 1982. It's the very live version.
Eminence front.
But he looked like you. I'm like, wow, he looks. He looks like
Tommy.
fucking
Thanks.
That's what my eyes see. It's a compliment,
Eminence
really.
front. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, Eminence front. He talks in the beginning, like you can't even understand what I'm saying. I don't know. He just has that facial features of you. That's what I see. That's what my AI eyes see. My AI eyes.
AI sees all.
My AIs, they look. Jeffrey, you gotta look and then look, and then look, and then listen. And then I learned to look. Yeah, that's how I try to get into my big black man voice. Look,
Oh,
Jeffrey,
you have.
look,
Oh,
look,
tell us about him. What's his
look,
name?
Jeffrey, look. I don't know. I'm working
What's your
on
name,
it. It's a
bud?
new character. I'm
What-
trying to hold that. I'm trying to hold. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying to hold that tone, Jeffrey. Now, Jeffrey. Now, would you allow me to dance with your date?
Sean,
That's
where are
from
you
Animal
from?
House.
What
Remember the
is
big
his
black guy?
name?
He comes
That's
and
really
moves.
gonna bring the character out.
Yeah. You mind, white boys? With your dates.
You my white boy.
You remember the
This
scene in
white
Animal
boy is
House?
mine.
They're sitting with the girls, and the guys come over. Instead of taking the girls out of the booth, he just fucking rips the whole booth right out of the floor.
I can see him like almost in a cartoon. He just needs a name and a hairstyle. There's several options to go with.
Well, I got a big hairy pussy face. I could do all
You
kinds of
could do an entire like Cosby Kids series.
It's not
Just have different voices.
unusual to be loved by anyone. Now I'm gonna dance and do the what is it, Carlton? The Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I'm gonna dance around my house now, Jeff. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. When it's you, Jeffrey, on the Gen X show. Not unusual. Oh, I'm getting my see the voice I learned, Jeff. It warms up. I never knew
Welcome
that.
track. You need like a producer or director or coach or something to help you channel that.
Yeah, maybe somebody who wears antlers and has good
Oh,
antenna connectivity.
well, I'm trying to help a little bit right now. At least
Yeah.
get some names and like
Any
identity
tips? How
hooks.
about we work on one? How about you create a character and I'll try to manifest that for you?
See, why you want to switch it on me? Oh, you like tell you what character to do.
Yeah, tell me what. Yeah, like so.
Well,
All
the
right.
the thing that comes to mind, since we already have Bubba, the black whatever his name turns out to be, um, I think a black woman. He's gonna need somebody. You
So
know,
he's gonna.
every king needs their queen, and then like a southern character, wait, male or female, or maybe a transgender. Yeah, do a southern transgender person, and then because I don't think it matters then, and do a black woman, and maybe an old lady or old person.
Hi, my name is Shay. I'm from New Rochelle, and I don't understand why you mad. Why you mad all the time? Why you mad rapper?
Why are you mad? Why
I'll
are
tell
you
you why I'm
yelling?
mad. I'll tell you why I'm mad.
Hi, Jeffrey. Hi,
Hello, that's
hi,
I got to get the high down.
hi,
hi.
hi. I'm Victoria Pots and Pans. I've been watching you, Jeffrey. Oh boy, like I
Wait,
put my
I'm
fucking
confused. Is this
corn
the
dog down now,
the
Jeff.
southerner, or is this
Oh.
still the black woman?
I think it's a black woman.
Oh,
What you saying?
I think I'm black. I think I'm black. I
Let me
feel
look.
black. I sound
well,
black.
Hold on, let me put my corn on the cob. Got my corn, I got my barbecue going. Damn, Jeffrey, I thought I thought someone was barbecuing. I said, I don't got time for that. I don't got time for it. I said, I ain't got time for it, Jeffrey. I looked and then burned all my fucking chicken on my barbecue. My chicken got burnt. Oh Lord, and I had to be using that damn Kingsford charcoal too. One
Oh
little
my
match
god,
light to
I'm
that.
having a religious experience. Like if laughter is a spiritual, I'm having it right now.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Hallelujah.
Jesus.
Jesus is collard greens.
Oh Lordy. Hold on, honey. I'm on the phone here with Gen X Jeff.
Take us to church.
Gen X Jeff is on with me. I'll be there in a minute. Hold your fucking horses, you stupid idiots. Hold your
Oh my
horses.
God, I think I heard the screen door.
That's it. Hold on. Jeffrey takes precedence here. Get the hell out. Okay, Jeffrey, I'm back. How's that, honey?
Hey, baby, how you doing?
How you doing?
Oh, wait,
Vinny,
Jeff.
God, this you got to do something.
How about
Like,
this,
what are
Jeff?
your
How
ambitions?
about this? We're gonna have a Gougine from Brooklyn talk to that lady.
What's a gougine?
Like, hey, forget about it. What are you doing? Don't fucking touch my cat.
Okay, yeah, I think we get a lot of those around here, actually.
You know, like a wife beater, Italian,
Oh, yeah, I know the
wind tunnel
Gougines,
tested
yeah.
hairdo with the Aquanet hairspray in it, maybe a fucking comb in his back pocket. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Huh? I'm wearing a Fila suit. I'm walking down 86th Street over here in Brooklyn. Hey, oh, look at me. I'm actually riding my fucking donkey. My donkey. You know what, Jeffrey? You know what fucking aggravates a guy like myself of stature of being 152,000 years old Italian man from Brooklyn? Is when I try to walk on my donkey everywhere. I can't park him in nowhere. There's no donkey parking in Brooklyn. So I said to myself, hey, donkey, hey, Dominique, the donkey, I name him. Dominic, you look sad, Jeffrey. So I have to pull Dominic in my neighbor's driveway because I don't have no driveway. He's a driveway. So, but he waters his concrete, Jeffrey. But I wear my black socks and sandals, so it don't matter. I'm trying to hold on to this Italian, but I'm turning French.
It's a kaleidoscope. I'm fascinated by it. You've inspired me. I want to do something with this.
Yes, Jeffrey, it's a
Wait, I'm going to try to pronounce the. This is one I've been working on, Jeff. It's the S.
French trans guy.
Like an
person.
S. Like I'm just gonna authenticate. Just go with it. Yeah, but it's the S.
Yes, Jeffrey, I'm trying to X. I'm working on the X.
You ever?
You getting closer to the gay, or trans.
I just have to like notch it up, right? I would probably have to go higher
See,
tone.
I'm bad.
Like, hello.
Wow.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, I'm Rip Taylor. I'm gonna put confetti all over you. Rip Taylor was one of my favorite fucking guys. And you know, as a kid looking at him, I never knew he was gay. I just thought he was.
How could you not? I knew he was gay as a kid, and I didn't even know what gay was.
Yeah, no, I just.
But whatever it was, he and Richard Simmons were it, and maybe Fred, Mr. Rogers. I had my suspicions.
Man.
Those are the ones that pinged my pre-gay gaydar.
The pre-gay gaydar coming soon. All right, what other cat?
Since Jeffrey, I'm down here finger licking.
Well, we didn't
on
get
my
the trans character yet.
The trans. So I'm a man.
Southern.
Turning
Well, you
woman?
could be the one. You could pick because they go. It's fluid. So.
I would be hard
But
for
you-
me to
but a
pretend to be
southern-
woman
a
as
southern
man,
trans
turning back
person.
to a. So if I was pretending to be a woman because I'm a man, then I'm going back to being a man.
Something like that. Like
So-
Victor Victoria.
You know what I mean? That's funny. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'll do it in a song for you.
Or just do a drag queen if that's easier. Pretend like you're going on RuPaul.
You know,
Create your
Jeffrey.
drag persona.
You know, Jeffrey. Can't forget. Don't forget, Jeffrey.
Sound like Madam.
We're not in love anymore. I can't forget, Jeffrey. Things will never be the same again. I can't forget.
I am getting the Harvey
We're not in
Firestein.
love.
This trans has a speech impediment, Jeffrey. I'm working with it. And not in love anymore. I can't forget. Wait, it's like a cold.
Hi, Jeffrey. I just caught a cold.
This is great. It's like right out of Torso Trilogy. This.
Forget, not in love anymore.
Well, Track's here to say hi or join in. I only have like 5 more minutes I could go, and then I got to switch to that other stream.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to do a welfare check on y'all.
Oh, we're having. Oh, I haven't felt this good in a while. My
Salute,
welfare
Untrackable. Salute.
is great. It's gone up.
Always good to see you, Vinny. And I've been laughing my ass off for the past probably.
Yes, fun with Vinny. It's always a good time.
That's it.
You know, Jeffrey, it's not easy being a big hairy pussy.
I don't imagine it is, especially in the Paddleverse. Well, I have to. What I'm
All
gonna
right.
do is close this stream, and I'm gonna reopen the Jeff stream right after that. So give
All
me
right, Jeff.
30
Listen,
seconds, a minute or so.
thanks for letting me have a
Cool.
little fun here. Thank you.
You
Thanks
too,
for
Vinny, and come up and get your astrology read. There might be other characters in there that he could detect with the chart. Track. See, I don't, then after
Absolutely,
Jeff does his astrology, I'll keep the panel going. After that, we can resume.
Yeah, but like I said, thanks for providing a place for people to come that really, if they want to put down any kind of like, like for me, doing like stuff like that, I can only do that with people who just ignite that energy.
Oh, you can't just go anywhere and do that.
Well, not any panel would just let you just. I called what you let me do right there with you, like it's like a freestyle, and it's nice because it
Yeah.
tests me, it tests the voices, and the only way you get really good or well at anything is to practice. And I appreciate the platform space.
Well, I'm serious.
and the
Come,
laugh
I'm not
style,
done.
you
So
know? Yeah.
let's keep going with this.
Yeah, it's Saturday night, Jeff. There's a lot of people out there, but I'll be back. Jeff. I got you.
Yeah, definitely come back.
All
Come
right,
back
man.
soon.
Salute.
Take care, and come get chart read. I'm gonna start the. We're starting at 4, so I'm gonna end this one. Go pee, get a refill, and come back in just a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Sorry it's so short, but I had the. We're doing the Astro Trash, so come on and let us read your innards, and find out all about yourself. What's lurking in there? Let's go look. All right, take care, and I'll see you in about 8 minutes.